Hi everybody! I've decided that today I am going to bake cookies and I am going to do it live because why not? We have been, the last cookies I made we just ran out of, and my mom requested more cookies. and so I'm going to be baking peanut butter cookies, but I'm going to be using a flourless recipe that I saw on somebody shared on Facebook from an allrecipes.com peanut butter cookies, flourless cookies recipe. And although I did manage to find flour at a local restaurant that was selling flour by the pound, and so I don't actually need to make flourless, I figured what the heck, let's conserve the flour because it was such a hard time finding it, and you know, theoretically I can still get it at the restaurant, but I'm gonna make flourless cookies just to stretch that flour a little more. So flourless, it's 3 ingredient cookies, and I've never done this in the kitchen before, filming in the kitchen before. Obviously I've baked cookies in the kitchen before, but I've never tried this recipe and I've never filmed in the kitchen, and so hopefully this is not going to be a complete disaster on live video. And the camera is safely up and over there, although I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see. Like, I'll show you the bowl and stuff, but this is an experiment. So 3 ingredients in this recipe, and I read a whole bunch of the comments, and there was like they had a lot of stuff to say. There was some really good reviews and some really bad reviews, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but there were some good tips in the comments, so hopefully that's between the recipe and the tips, hopefully they turn out. Anyway, cup of flour, what am I talking about? No flour. Cup of sugar, and 1 egg. I've been practicing the 1 egg opening, but on a live video that was probably gonna be too risky, so not doing that right now. So I'm just gonna beat that up a little bit, and then I have to mix in a cup of peanut butter, which I was not prepared enough to pre-measure the peanut butter, so give me a moment here. Oh, what am I gonna measure this with? So in all the comments, they said it was very peanut buttery, which makes sense. There's not really any other flavors in there to cut the peanut butteriness. Some of them said to add baking powder or vanilla or something to change the texture or the flavor, but I'm just gonna make them straight as the recipe said, because there were plenty of people who said they were just fine that way, so all you whiners need to stop complaining about them not being a different recipe. Go find one of those recipes if you want vanilla in your cookies. So it was getting a little hostile in those comments, but there we go. The cup. And my oven's hot. Good thing, because this is almost done already. So I'm just going to do them straight as the original recipe suggested to do them, and see how that goes. are better ways to measure peanut butter than this, but it would have required me being prepared, so for the sake of this video, just do it the messy way. There we go. Alright. Joy says hi. Hi, Joy. And yum from Sherry. I hope so. So I just have to beat up the 3 things together. And right before this, I did another YouTube Detour for Donuts channel video with another snack time snack food review. But it's not posted yet because I messed up. I mean, the video's fine, but I messed up when I was posting it. I didn't do it right, so I had to take it right back off again. But it'll be up later this afternoon, so there will be a YouTube video for your enjoyment about a different kind of cookie. Why is it that cooking makes my nose tickle? Like every time. It's like touching your face or not touching your face when you know you shouldn't. That's when you gotta scratch your nose. Oh my gosh. Alright. Basically it just looks like peanut butter. I got a comment there I can't see. Linda says, your apron matches your mask. How about that? Oops. Ah. Yes, it does. The mask was made from leftover fabric from the apron. My mom made this apron for me for a Christmas present a few years ago. And it's so stained at this point. I love it so much that I'm going to keep wearing it even though it's all stained. So anyway, it said in the recipe was not really well written, so I could see why a lot of people had problems with it. It just said drop by the spoonful, and spoonful is not a very good, like, was that 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons? Someone else said walnut size. I assume they mean in the hull. So I'm going to try it this size, which is, better close up there, which is, you know, like that. 2 tablespoon size, if you want to be using cooking terms. I'll do a batch like that and see how that goes. And then the recipe, the original recipe, just said to drop on there and then bake for 6 to 8 minutes, and it's done. But then in the comments it said you might need a lot longer unless you flatten them first. And if you flatten them first, then they look like the picture that was provided with the recipe. And so probably the original author just didn't know how to write a recipe, didn't mention to flatten them or what size to make. And so I would say 2 tablespoon size, flattened, and then baked for maybe even as long as 10 minutes. So luckily it's a quick and easy recipe, so if you have to play with it a little to get it just right, it's not going to be a big waste of time and ingredients. And it didn't say to roll them, I just like to. I just can't help myself. I'm not good at just dropping on the cookie sheet. And I don't know if you can see over here. Yeah, that should be on the camera. It said to line a cookie sheet. I have these silicone baking mats that I just adore. I use them all the time. They're also great if you're making something like cinnamon rolls or something else where you have to roll, like jelly rolls, and you have to roll up the dough but it's sticky, or messy, or like a wet dough that tends to fall apart. because you can actually just lift the edge of the baking mat and the whole thing just goes and rolls up. It's awesome. So this, in the original recipe that was poorly written, it said it would make a dozen. I am at a dozen right now, and it is definitely going to make more than a dozen at this size. In the comments, some people said that it made 1.5 dozen, or slightly more than that even. So I'm not really surprised, and I'm going to keep going and assume that all of the people that commented with the same comments, there must have been a reason for it, and that worked out for them, so we're just going to keep right on going. I think there's some more people saying hi, but if there were any comments beyond that, the last 3 are the only ones I can see. But once it's in the oven, I'll scroll back up and respond to anybody who's typed anything. This is about the fastest cookie recipe that I may have ever made. So I hope they work, because if they did, this is a great way to refill the cookie jar in a hurry. Even when you can't find flour at the store because of coronavirus shortages. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of cookies. Maybe I should have made them bigger. That's okay. Small cookies are fine, I just won't bake it as long. Cheryl asks, are you sharing the recipe? I'll post a link. I might just type it out for you also. I'll post a link, but then I'll also type out what I did, because it's not the original, like you have to go through the comments and kind of modify it. But yes, I will share it. So it's 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 egg mixed together and then rolled up in 2 tablespoon sized balls, and I forgot the fork. Okay, and then you take the fork, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this. You take the fork and you smush down, and this was also something from the comments, not the original. You smush it down and you make that lovely, I think you can see it on there without me spilling everything, that lovely peanut butter cookie traditional pattern. And smushing it helps it bake at the correct amount of time. Otherwise, all the comments said that it took a lot longer than the recipe stated. So I don't want to take a long time because I'm ready for cookies now. One of the comments said that they flatten out really bad, but only one person said that. So I'm hoping that was just the odd oops from one person and not an actual, like, not a regular problem. Let's get these better spaced. Should have done that before I flattened them. But they look so pretty. Alright, there's a dozen. Ready to go in the oven. Isn't that nice looking? So I'm going to go stick these in the oven. I'll be right back. think I broke your timer, Mom. Yeah. I don't know where my... Okay, I'm gonna have to just watch the clock. So, everybody tell me when it's been 6 minutes. Somebody else watch the clock for me. Yeah, okay. So while that's in the oven, I'm going to get these ready with some patterns and respond to whoever's been commenting. And I cannot get that timer to stop beeping now. Stop. Uh-oh. Let's see, Cheryl says recipes are just guidelines. Yeah, I'm not very good at actually sticking to recipes. Here, catch.
There's the other timer.
Oh, there's the other timer. Oh, that's okay. Surely somebody who's watching is going to tell me when it's been 6 minutes. Right, guys? It is a very rare time that I actually follow the recipe word for word, unless it's just something really delicate or complex and there's a clear scientific reason for why they're doing it the way they're doing. Then I'll follow it, but that doesn't happen very often. I'm always subbing things and changing things, and maybe these should have chocolate in them. Everything's better with chocolate. I know we have chocolate. Of course we have chocolate. Okay. Of course we have chocolate. Cheryl says, I made banana muffins and had to cook them longer than what was said, but they were delish. So sometimes, what? Sometimes tweeting, I think she meant tweaking, is good. I totally agree with that. I'm going to just push a few pieces of chocolate into these. Because it's not just me that is a chocoholic in this family. Definitely got that from my family. And okay, it's been 4 or 5 minutes. Unfortunately, with the way the camera's set up right now, I can't really very easily take it over to show you what they look like. So I'm going to have to step off the camera in a second here and just go check. Alright, so some of these have 3 and some of these have 4 chocolate chips. That looks good. Kathy says, I've made these and delish. Yay! Now, I'm not a huge peanut butter fan. Like, I cannot stand peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I just can't eat them. They just make me sick. But I like peanut butter cookies, and I love peanut butter candy. So I guess it just needs like a heck of a lot of sugar in it or something, and then I'm fine. But regular peanut butter, ugh. The peanut butter flavor's good, but I don't like peanut butter. Okay, I'm gonna go check on them. They are not done yet. The original recipe said 6 to 8 minutes. The comments that I liked best said 10 minutes. And so I'm guessing it'll be in the 8 to 10 range. So I'm gonna check in another 2 and see if they're done yet. They're supposed to look soft and barely brown on the bottom. And then in the comments it said slightly white on top, which didn't make a lot of sense. I don't know why these would turn white at all. But anyway, Kathy, when you made them, what did they look like when they were done? Joy says, could I have the rest of the chocolate plus 2 cookies? LOL. If only I could ship them to you. Sorry. But you can make them at home because they're super easy. 3 ingredients if you do it the original way, and 4 ingredients if you add chocolate chips. So super simple, and hopefully they turn out. I'm gonna get my cooling rack over here. There we go. Okay, my rack ready. And then you have to leave them on a couple minutes on the tray to get a little more sturdy before you move them. So yeah, let's see. How long has it been? About another 2. They're just like warm peanut butter balls, right? Or discs right now. They're not even close. So we'll just wait. In the meantime, let's see, what can I talk to you about while we wait? And really wish I had a timer. Oh well. I didn't really do anything worth talking about today. I worked on the puzzle, worked on some homework. Got kind of depressed reading the news. And if you haven't heard, the SBA ran out of money for helping small businesses who are struggling right now, and it's terrible. So I got really upset about that. Let's see. Kathy says, in my experience, oops, can't see the whole comment. There we go. In my experience, it looked like tan color and soft brown in bottom, but I rolled mine in white sugar before flattening with a fork, and time was 12 minutes. Joy says it's been 8. Thanks, Joy. So yeah, about Apollo. He's doing fine. I will certainly ride more when this is over. I don't know when that will be though. And that was part of why I was checking the news a lot yesterday and today, was trying to get a sense of how long this might go on before I can start riding again, because I was getting a little anxious about making plans. And most days I'm okay with just taking it a day at a time, but last night and this morning I was like, I need to know, but I can't know. And I need to let that go. But it will probably not be in May as planned, but yes, it will be at some point. And I don't know when that'll be, but it will be at some point, and I will keep riding. And I'll just have to keep checking the news, but maybe not so obsessively as I did and then got depressed about it. So, not yet, and probably not in the middle of May as I planned, but eventually. So, I'm gonna check the cookies. So I think it's been about 11 minutes since I put them in the oven. And they're definitely starting to look done now, but I'm gonna give them an extra minute or two just to make sure, because they've firmed up some. They don't just look like a peanut butter disc, but they are not at all starting to brown. They just look like dough. And so I'm gonna give them an extra minute or two and check them again. So, one person on the comments said it took 20 minutes to bake, but they also didn't flatten their cookies first, and all the people who flattened them said it sped it up. So I'm just waiting. Joy said I had 7:16 and now it's 7:26. Okay, 10 minutes. Huh. Yeah, I don't really trust that clock anyway, but so I was gonna do craft time for the video today, except we ran out of cookies, so this was kind of urgent. So maybe I'll do craft time for tomorrow video. There's a couple different things I was thinking of making that would be fast, fun little things that I'm interested in playing with, but maybe tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Kathy. So anyway, I also thought about going for a walk for today's video, because I really need to take a walk, but again, the cookies were urgent, and so we're doing cookies. And I love watching cooking videos on YouTube. Of course, they're not live. They get all the benefits of cutting out all this dead time while it's baking, but whatever. They're quick cookies. It's not going to be that much longer. Kathy says it's snowing here. Oh no! It's lovely here. It's like 70 degrees. I'm so happy. Linda says 1 8-ounce jar peanut butter, 1 8-ounce jar marshmallow cream, and vanilla mix and microwave. Oh, that sounds good. That actually sounds like a spread that I had when I stayed with an Amish family. They called it, I forget what they called it, but they just put it on their toast, and it was fantastic. I'm gonna go check those cookies. So, Joy, how long did you have for me having them in the oven? I'm saying, I can't count. Where did we, dang it. Now I've totally lost track of time. 16 minutes? Okay. Anyway, read the rest of Linda's comment here. Pour in a small baking dish and let's set up. Yeah, so that peanut butter marshmallow thing, I've had that before. That is, or something very similar to it. That's amazing stuff. Yeah, well, apparently that's why you're supposed to let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so these are definitely done. And now they're all over the counter and it's super hot. So definitely, if you make these, let them cool off before you try putting them on a cooling rack, because oops, it just broke right in half and crumbled all over the counter. So, but it's definitely done. However long that was, Just 7:30. When did we start though? I've lost that comment. It says we started at 16 and now it's 30. So 14 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. So 14 minutes and it was definitely done. So where's my hot bits? So here's what they look like when they're done. You probably can't tell the color very well, but they definitely started to set on the top. Like when I push on them, they don't just indent. Like they've got a little bit of firmness, and you can see they've cracked a little bit. So that's when you can tell they're done, is when they start to crack and when the tops of the pattern are just slightly firm. So anyway, you could probably have been cooked a little more. No, that's pretty good. So this is the one I broke, but it's now firm enough to pick up. And so you can see it's soft on the inside, and it's definitely, like, it's still hot, so very soft, but I don't think it'll get firm. I think they'll remain soft cookies when they're cool, but they are now definitely cooked. So it worked. Let's see if I can eat some of it without burning my mouth. They're good. I like that. So remember, it's just basically sweetened peanut butter with an egg to bind it together and give it a little bit of a rise. And yeah, I like those. I'm gonna make those again. But with notes about how long it actually took to make them and stuff. So anyway, I'll post the recipe in the comments, link and my notes. So yeah, yummy. So anyway, this has been a long enough video and I want to eat this. So I will be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. So I will talk to you later. Thanks for joining my spontaneous live cooking show. Bye.